the millions of people who she hired, not obviously like she hired a trillion gajillion people like for the crew,
right?
The director of Devos included. I will never forget the day he was just like, I just worked in like the art department of someone's thing, but I can't tell you about it, but you'll be really excited to hear about it. And I'm just like, is it Beyonce? And he was just like, I can't tell you. And I'm just like, okay, can you give me like a word or like a phrase to describe what it is? And he just went, human chessboard. And I was like, okay. Fast forward a year later, I see the trailer for Black is King and there's a human chessboard. And I was like, Ryan! Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 2Gay Matts. It's Matt Steele.
And it's Matt Palmer.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Our neighbors are above sleeping.
Yes.
Oh, so we can't be screaming like we want to be screaming. But honestly, I'm too exhausted to scream. I am...
When you witness perfection, and like you've witnessed perfection from this individual so many times over and over and over again in your life, it's just like, all right, bitch, you win. Like, girl,
you win, and I want to say we lose, but like, did we really lose?
We won
because
too.
We won.
Because she shared it with us.
If you don't know what we're talking about,
you know what we're talking about.
Okay.
You can tell them.
Jesus. Beyonce released her new film, Black is King, which is based off of her incredible
underrated
album. Where were we a year ago? Telling y'all to listen to the motherfucking gift by Beyonce, Giselle Knowles-Carter.
I have a feeling you'll all be doing it now.
She released Black is King based on her brilliant album, based on the new Lion King movie, based on the old Lion King movie. I don't even know where to begin. What were your thoughts when you first saw the trailer for Black is King?
Well, I was excited. I was like, it'll be a visual feast, because every film that Beyonce's brought us has been a visual feast. I was excited we were getting visuals for so many great songs off of that album that I really, really enjoyed and I felt was underappreciated in its time. I mean, I knew I was gonna love it. I was really excited for like a Mood Forever video. There are songs on that album that hit me harder than others, but once you see the videos along with them, it's like, oh no, they're all perfect.
The album is brilliant, but there are definitely like tracks that I have not revisited that much.
Totally.
And then seeing them in this visual film, this visual feast, this visual masterpiece by Beyonce, Giselle Knowles-Carter, I was just like, oh no, this song's brilliant and I should have the lyrics to this song tattooed and engraved onto my body. I am at a complete loss for words. I was expecting it to be great and it still overperformed to me. Like, I can't think of a film more visually stunning and more emotional that I have seen recently. And motherfucker, I just released a film this year. So I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. My eyes were this wide. I did not blink. I didn't even think of looking at my phone. I didn't have a phone. I knew no social media existed.
All I knew was the screen. And the thing is, not that there's ever anything negative to ever say about Beyonce's other visual albums, Beyonce and Lemonade, but the one thing that I remember thinking and watching those is like, I love them, they're amazing, they're impactful, they're iconic. I wish there was more dance. And good night. Be careful what you wish for, because every time she moved, it was just, she's so magnetic as a performer, and in like those visual album elements, it's always so beautiful, but usually she's telling like a heart-wrenching story, or she's showing you her sexiness or whatever. And this is more like, it's one of those things that I feel like I hope and I assume will be critically acclaimed and will highlight the fact that Black art and Black female art shouldn't have to be traumatic to be critically acclaimed and important. It is joyful and heart-wrenching, but it's not, it doesn't feel like it was excavated from her soul in a dire time of need like Lemonade was, you know? And
well, Lemonade was like a needed cathartic thing.
And of course, that's not to say anything bad about it, but I just love,
perfect,
I mean, of course, but I love that this is so symbolic of the joy that needs to be felt around Blackness, even when it's like, oh, we're getting intense and we're talking about power or whatever, and that song, you know, where you're fighting Scar or whomever, it's still like, look, it's just like, look at my power, look what I can do. The center is joy. And it's like, you feel so much pride and joy watching it, and I loved it.
There's such a beauty and there's such a warmth about it. The gajillions of people who were background and extras and dancers and everything, and just people in the towns and communities, every single family where they were filming, they all were treated with such love, and you could just tell that they all had a story within them, and you were just so fascinated by everything you saw on screen. And there were I don't think there have been more setups and shots for a film ever in the history of cinema.
I love that.
But the thing is, like, none of it ever felt overblown. None of it ever felt over edited. Everything had such a purpose and such a clear, even if you didn't know the exact details of the story of exactly what she was trying to evoke, you knew there was something, and it was so stunning, every single second of it.
There are so many highlights. I just don't know where to begin. That Mood Forever video.
Oh my god. I loved that video, because like, just when you think like, oh, Beyonce's taking herself really seriously, it's just like, oh no, this song is fucking fun. When she wakes up in that bed with the violin player,
oh my
and the Mood
god,
Forever, like, it's just, this is so much
so
fun.
Hilarious. I love every frame was more ridiculous than the last, and it honestly reminded me of like 4 era Beyonce, or even prior, to be so ridiculous and over the top, just because, like, you know what, I'm having fun, I'm fucking rich, and I should be able, you know, I'm unbothered.
And it was so silly, but there was such a sophistication to it still. It was on, it wasn't just like, oh, we're having fun. It's like, it was on another level. I don't even know what my favorite parts were. I mean, like, I loved Already. I thought Already everything was a highlight, but honestly, like, Brown Skin Girl,
I mean, of course,
was it. Like, I was done. I will be done forever. The image of that preteen girl walking through those beautiful women, and just her looking at them and seeing that she is growing up to become a woman herself. It's just such a beautiful Cinderella story for like a young black girl.
And just looking at those shots with her and Kelly Rowland looking at each other, and it's like, these are sisters. Like, these people have lived their entire lives together, and there's so much love there. And that fact that Beyonce mentioned her next to Lupita, next to Naomi, of course everyone showed up for the shoot. It's just like, this is how I hold you in my heart. And I love their friendship and love and admiration and respect for each other jumped off screen. It makes you want to cry watching it.
And you watch
so beautiful.
You watch Blue in those moments, and you're just like, she's becoming a young woman.
That's the thing.
And I'm just
that
like,
was the craziest part. There were shots in Bigger and in Spirit at the end that were put out last year along with the album initially, and so it was just, I guess, like a little bit before, like a year before they shot this new stuff, and it's like, Blue looks like a baby in those, and then you'd see her in like the Power video, and it's like, you're almost a young woman.
Oh my god, Power.
It's just like, how old am I? Power's so great.
Power's incredible.
Power.
And you know what I loved? I loved, because this album had so many incredible voices on it, and so many incredible artists, and I just loved like having faces to put with those artists. Because the thing is, like, Beyonce of course has all this imagery of like, I am a queen, look at me, I'm beautiful, but it never is like about her. It's so incredible how she just features literally the world. It seems like there are millions of people in her videos, and she's just like, look how beautiful this person is, look how beautiful this person is. Like, they all are so talented and unique and have a story to tell.
Especially in this one, because it's a soundtrack, so they're literally people that are the leads of the songs that aren't her, and I thought that added to the musicality of the project. Like, it made it even more like a musical than her other, you know, visual albums. Like when the artist came on for Don't Jealous Me, and he was like the villain in the scene. It's like, you better act, bitch.
Stunning.
He was great.
You know who else was great? The guy who was like Scar on the table.
He was so scary.
I know. Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, let's go.
I know, we gotta get him on
It's just like, I don't know if this is eligible for Oscars, because I don't know if this was ever planned to be released in theaters or whatever. But then again, like, who knows what will happen with movies in theaters now? They might change the rules before April.
It should be.
But like, if this is eligible for Oscars, which like I don't know if it will be, because it was just on streaming, like, give it everything.
I can't wait to watch it again. And I love like the Afrofuturism of Find Your Way Back, and then when we get to Other Side, what Beyonce and that windstorm, and what Beyonce.
When everyone is running away from the storm and she's running into it, like, God Almighty, destroyed me.
And like, it kills me.
Like, I don't know, I loved Water, I loved Keys of the Kingdom, I loved everything. I don't even know what to say.
It's late, so so it's tiring, it's hard to get all of my thoughts out, but I also love that the through line of Find Your Way Back was there throughout the entire visual. That was clearly the thesis of the entire project, and I loved watching young Simba grow up. And I love that it was like, obviously this is what's happening, we're tying this to the Lion King story, but it wasn't like too much about that.
No, it was just enough.
It was just enough.
To be its own thing, but be inspired by.
And it's just crazy to me that, like, I mean, obviously you don't want to do exactly what other artists are doing, but like, if I was a top tier pop artist and I had been seeing Beyonce do this kind of shit for this long, wouldn't you want to close the gap a little bit? Like, just a little? I know everyone has their own lane, not everyone's a visual artist, but like, she's making films.
Yes.
Like,
and she's employing such talented people. That's the thing.
yes, and she has something to say every single time.
Yes.
And I just love at the end when it's like shooting to people that are, you know, black people in today's world, and just being like, just remember that the ancestors are all in you, and like the regal feeling that you get watching this film, that is who you are. And you'd hear those overlapping voices of people, also of today, talking about like, I think being a king is taking care of the people closest to me, and you know, doing my job, even though I want to go out and do something else, I like have to be the person that provides, because that's my duty, and that's what being a king is to me. And it's just like
beautiful.
And of course there's no way for her to know that this is going to come out at this time, but it's just like, how do you watch that and think like, oh, Breonna Taylor's killer should still be on the loose? Like, how do you think, oh, anything besides these are people who have been put through more than anyone else on planet Earth, and how about we treat them with the utmost respect, give them the platform to say what they want to have to say. Like, it's insane to me, and I just think it's a beautiful time to put this out. It's family friendly. It's like, watch it with your fucking family.
Watch it with your kids. I also love about this is I feel like it's such a wonderful complementary piece to Lemonade, in the fact that Lemonade, you know, besides, you know, the Jay-Z cheating on her, it was so much about the Black American experience, and then this tied into going back to your roots and the Africanness of all that. And I feel like they just complement each other so well.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait 4 years from now to see what she does next.
I truly can't wait to keep watching this. I just don't like, I mean, can I buy it in 4K somewhere? Do I just need to keep getting Disney Plus? Like, whatever I need to do to continue watching this film is what I will be doing.
Oh, so. You know, like 6 months from now, she's gonna be like, oh, you know, the special HD version's available now.
It's just like bye.
I'm swiping my credit card now.
I'll be first in line. I feel like we're so lucky to have an artist that cares so much to put out things that are so thought out and so well put together. Like, she has such a vision for her art in every aspect of it, from the music to the visuals. So it's like when people are like, oh, well, Beyonce doesn't get Grammys for album of the year because there's so many people working on it. It's like, if you can watch all of these things and not understand that this all comes from her, like that she's directing this and she's leading the ship, you're out of your mind.
The detail that was put into every single shot, even some setups like were a split second. Like the detail put into every single shot was just so unbelievable. The costumes, the costumes, the cinematography.
I need to find a leopard or cheetah suit immediately. I need it.
With the cheetah car.
I want cheetah everything.
I don't even know what what the best costume was. I don't even know what the best visual was. Like, I can't even fully review this with like my favorite parts because I couldn't take my eyes off of any single part. It was just all so incredible and perfect, and she is just so amazing, and I hope that this album gets what it deserves.
It deserves a second life because it really is excellent, and it's highlighting incredible artists that, you know, obviously are not as exposed in America, and they should be exposed. I'm so glad that Beyonce is doing that. Like, there's no better type of person than once they have been able to walk through a giant door is to hold that door open for others, and like, it's so clear what Beyonce is doing with this here.
And the great thing about them is you could tell that like on set they were having so much fun. They wanted to work hard. You can tell like people are like, we want to work hard for Beyonce. Everyone was giving their 100%.
And Beyonce.
You know, as someone who works in the industry, I know people who just show up to set and are just like, hey, and then just like flutter through it and everything. It's like, no, everyone is giving, everyone from the performers to the designers to whoever's lighting, whatever, is just giving their 100% absolute best.
And it's beautiful to say. It's right there. Get Disney Plus. watch Hamilton, watch Beyonce. You'll be better for it.
Watch Devos.
Watch
too.
Devos. It's not on Disney Plus, but you can watch it.
You don't need Disney Plus to watch Devos,
You don't.
guys.
You just need a YouTube. YouTube and a credit card.
I'm exhausted.
No, she must be too. Now we know how she feels.
Take a rest,
Yes.
take a day break,
And that's what we're going to do
take a
as
day
well.
vacation, and then get working on your new thing.
Oh gosh. Literally, you hate when people say that to you after Devos.
Of course, yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 2GayMats for both of us, and at Matt Palmer Music for me.
And it's Matt Steele for me.
And you also can listen to our podcast. Comes out every Monday. Just search 2GayMats, TWO, in your Apple Podcasts or your Spotify podcasts. Become a patron by going to patreon.com/2GayMats. We love Adam Parnell. We love Montana.
And we love Beyonce.
And we love Beyonce. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next week with another brand new 2GayMats.
Bye.
Bye.